Hi, my name is Hillary Mulick and welcome back to another episode on my YouTube channel. I'm a wedding photographer based in the Carolinas, and this week's topic is about what are the 3 things that I would do today if I were starting a wedding photography business. So I have been a wedding photographer for 10 years. I shot my very first wedding as a primary photographer in 2013, and it's now 2023, so it's been 10 years of experience. And I just was reflecting on all the different phases that my business has gone through, all the growth that it's done, and what things that I would do now today if I were starting my wedding business that maybe took me a little bit of figuring out when I started my business a decade ago. So today I'm going to be sharing my top 3 things that I would do today if I were starting my wedding photography business. So the very first thing I would do is I would register my business on Google. It's actually really easy to do. You just create a business Google page. There's lots of tutorials out there on how to do this. And this is just a way for people to be able to research you locally. So for example, I live in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and when I moved here, I switched all of my Google business settings to South Carolina so that I was seen on Google as a local photographer here in the Spartanburg, Greenville, South Carolina area, so that anyone who is local to me and who is searching online wedding photographers in my area or photographers in my area, I would pop up because I am local to them. So that's a great way to be able to find new clients in the area and to direct people to you through Google. It's free. The Google business page is also a way for you to upload some of your best portfolio images so that they can live on your Google business platform, so that when people search for your business, they can see images of work that you've done, get an idea of your style. It's also a great way to be able to collect reviews. So anytime that I shoot a session or I work with a vendor, I always send them to my Google business page so that they can leave me a review. And this is a great way to be able to collect reviews because, as you know, when you are searching for a new professional in the area, whether it be a plumber or a carpenter or a photographer, you look at their business profile on Google, if you are Googling for them, and their reviews will pop up. And I always love to go through and read reviews of past clients. I hardly ever hire someone just without knowing anyone that's worked with them or seeing reviews of things that they have done in the past. I do this with furniture that I buy online as well. So if I'm buying something from West Elm, I go and look at reviews on that item to just see what people think of it. And so collecting reviews on the business page for Google is a great way to be able to just give your business credibility so that you can get more clients in the future. So number 1, if I were starting my photography business today, I would 100% create a business profile on Google. The second thing I would do if I were starting my photography business today is I would look for ways that I could get referrals. Now, there are a few different ways you can do this. One is through location. So as a photographer, I shoot in lots of different locations. A lot of people find me because I have shot at a specific location that they are interested in shooting at themselves or something similar to that. So for example, if you are a portrait photographer and in town there are very specific locations that people love to take portraits at, I would find models, like people and photograph them at these places, blog them, post them on social media, tag those locations, and that's a way that you can get referrals through those locations because people will be searching, photos at Rinaldi Gardens, and you have shot at Rinaldi Gardens. Your images are going to pop up of photos that you've shot at Rinaldi Gardens, and people are going to contact you and say, hey, I loved your work at Rinaldi Gardens. I want a session at Rinaldi Gardens too. And that is just more of an incentive for them to book you because you have photographed in those places before. Same thing if you are a wedding photographer. So if there are really popular wedding venues that you want to shoot at, I would reach out to those wedding venues, see if you can organize a styled shoot there, put together a vendor team to help you with that shoot, and you can get referrals. After those images have been posted online, you'll get referrals of people who are interested in shooting, like having their weddings at those venues. You can get referrals from the vendors that you worked with. So when they are sharing those photos on social media and on their blogs, they're gonna be tagging you in those images because you shot them. And that's just another way to get referrals through other vendors. So if there's someone who is already following this hair and makeup artist and who wants to hire them for their wedding day, they might also come across your images and be directed to you and maybe want to hire you as their wedding photographer as well. So it's just an additional way to get referrals. The third thing I would do if I were starting my photography business today is I would make sure to have a client management system. Now, when I very first started my business a decade ago, I didn't know anything about client management. I was doing everything through Google Docs and Excel spreadsheets. Actually, I don't even think Google Docs was a thing. I think it was through Microsoft Word, which is even worse. So I was doing things through that. I was collecting payments through PayPal or just like in cash or, through checks in the mail, and just organization was really hard. I had in my calendar, I would put in dates to be able to remind myself to send reminders to people to collect payments, to set reminders to myself to send out different questionnaires or different emails, and just wasn't organized at all. So if I were starting my photography business today, I would definitely get some sort of client management system. There's lots of client management systems out there. My favorite is HoneyBook. I've been using HoneyBook for years. HoneyBook is a system where I can send invoices, contracts, I can collect payments through bank transfers or through credit cards. I can also set up automations so that it'll automatically send questionnaires. It'll automatically remind them of things like payments that they have coming up or things that they need to fill out for me, scheduling timeline calls. It also has a scheduling feature. So specifically for my wedding clients, when they need to schedule an engagement session or a bridal session with me, it'll automatically send them a link of my availability and they can go ahead on their own and schedule those sessions with me. It's just a really awesome way to keep everything organized and seamless, and just takes a lot off of my plate in terms of having to remember to do things. I have a whole tutorial on how I use HoneyBook and my favorite features within it. So if having a client management system is something that you don't currently do within your business, I highly recommend looking at the tutorial, just getting familiar with HoneyBook, seeing if that is something that will work for you. And then I also offer a free trial and a free discount if you want to sign up for HoneyBook yourself. So those are the 3 things that I would do today if I were starting my photography business. I hope they were helpful for you, whether you are starting a photography business or whether you've been in the business for a while and are still just in a phase of getting things organized and just making things better in your business. I think it's important to always be evolving in our businesses because new things and new programs and new features are always coming out. And so I think it's important to just stay on top of that stuff, especially as a business owner. If you have any questions about any of these things, you can feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Any links that I talked about in this video will be in the description, and I will see you again next week for another YouTube episode. Bye guys.